Set a goal to become a millionaire for what it will make of you to achieve it. See, that philosophy changed my life. I think everybody now has a sufficient list to work with. Here's the next exercise. I want you to take a look at each item and give it a 1, a 3, a 5, or a 10. Saying to yourself, as you look at each item, that's about a 1-year goal, that's about a 3, that's about a 5, that's about a 10. So give each item a 1, a 3, a 5, or a 10. It doesn't have to be exact, just about. That's about a 1, that's about a 3. I think I could acquire that in 5. Looks like that goal will probably take 10 plus. 1, 3, 5, 10, each item. You can also add some more to your list while we're doing this exercise. But give each item a 1, a 3, a 5, or a 10. 1, 3, 5, 10. Approximate. If you've never done this before, this is going to be fascinating by the time we get finished here. 1, 3, 5, 10. When I first started doing this, I hadn't thought this much about my goals in 10 years, right? I mean, just flashes of things, right, that came and, hey, I set my mind, some things I got. But I never gave this much thought in any one time to my future, especially over the next 10 years, until I finally started doing this. This is extraordinary. And to make this even more exciting, you just have to teach it. Teach it to your children, teach it in a class. If you got a business, you know, teach it to your employees, teach it to your salespeople, teach it to everybody. Because it's exciting not only to do, but to teach. Now here's the next exercise. I want you to look at all of your 1-year goals and pick out the 4 most important. One of the great exercises of life is what's important, what's not important. In time management, we teach, if you pick up the phone to make a call, first you must decide, is this a major call or a minor call? You know, is it really important? If it's really important, maybe I should make an agenda, then make the call, so I could just stay on track. If it's a minor call, no problem. Always deciding, you know, is major, minor. If you're going to have a conversation with someone, is this going to be a major conversation or just, you know, pleasant conversation? If it's major, preparation. Be a little more prepared for the major versus the casual. Here's the big challenge, getting trapped into spending major time on minor things. I finally come to the point now, not only of time management, but energy management. It's easy to give too much energy to minor things and not have enough left for some of the major things. Only major time on major things. Major energy on major things. Minor energy on minor things. Save it up, your energy, for the majors. In the day, your majors during the week, majors for your family. Have you got that list now? The 5 most important 1-year goals. Now, once you've composed that list, here's the next question. Why are these goals important to you? And I want you to write a little paragraph. Doesn't have to be long, just get it started. A little paragraph, why these goals are important to you, these 5 major 1-year goals, or 4 major 1-year goals. We've all heard this expression, it's the why that makes the difference. One of the most prominent words in a child's vocabulary, what, when they get started in life, what? Why? Yeah, you gotta do this, why? I mean, you know, we're all driven by this, why? You know, if the why is good enough, yes. What if the why isn't good enough? Man, we shouldn't probably waste our time. So as we grow and mature, we still got these questions now, why? Why are these important? Why are these more important, the most important? This is a good exercise. It gets you thinking in this kind of mode, this kind of direction. Making lists and deciding what's important. Make another list and decide what's important. And then answer the question, why? You don't have to answer it for the world. Just answer it for yourself. You may have very private reasons why it's important. Nobody else's business. Some goals are private. If you've got a list of some private, put them in code so nobody could understand them if they found this list. Okay, here's now one more exercise. Write down this question and then a little paragraph to answer it. What kind of person must I become to achieve my entire list? What kind of person must I become to achieve my list of goals? So we've arrived now at the two most important parts of all of this exercise, the why and what kind of person. Maybe you'll have to stretch further than you've ever stretched before. Expand your thinking. Develop more capacity to believe. Have faith. Here's a quality we all need, vision. To be able to see clearly the day, see clearly the month. People who see more clearly take more bold steps. If you're in a dark room and you can't see very well, you take little small steps. Why? Because you're not sure. The more sure, confident, the more visionary you become, the more bolder your steps. The longer your stride, the more quickly you arrive. Maybe you need to learn to be in control. You've let everybody else do the controlling. Instead of being always influenced, be the influence. Take the lead. Accept the risks. Give it a try. And one of the most important that served me now all my life is to be able to attract the people that can help you do extraordinary things. To attract the people. And we'll talk more about that under leadership. Okay, now make these notes. We're going to finish up here. Take a little break and come back. Talk about financial independence and leadership. Okay, a little note now. It says, purpose is stronger than object. We did this little why exercise, and that's the beginning. Why are these goals important to you? But this is a good phrase to remember. Purpose is stronger than object. What you want is important. What you want will pull. What you want is like a magnet. Here's what I want. That's powerful, what you want. Benjamin Disraeli said, nothing can resist a human will that will stake its existence on its purpose. I'll do it or die. What do you want? Now, but here's the other part. What for? Here's what I want, but what for? What is the purpose? First is the object, is what you want. Second is the purpose. You might have said, I want $1 million home. That's wonderful, that'll pull. But here's what'll pull even stronger. What for? What for? And if you can describe more in detail to stir the emotion and the intellect and the spirit and the soul, here's why, here's what for, then it's the what for that's even more powerful than the what. What you're going to do with this home, the drama, the scene. Here's what I can see happening every day. Here's what I can see happening every week. It's going to be the centerpiece of the family activity. Here's what's going to go on. Here's the sense it's going to give me and my family. Here's what it's going to do for us. See, the purpose is what's really powerful, what's really strong. Not just the what, not just the structure, but the purpose. The purpose is the life. The purpose is the life force, the activity, the drama of what's going on. So if you can learn to do that, here's what I want and here's why. Here's what for. Armstrong just wins, all right, his 6th yellow jersey. It'd be a good question to ask him. What for, Lance? What was all this for? Well, 1 was to prove to myself. 1, after I beat cancer. Now can I do 6? This is one of the most amazing athletes in the world. And if you had a chance to talk to him and you finished the conversation, when you walked away, you would say, wow, now I understand why he did it. And now I understand how he did it. Now he gave me a sense of what drove him. Here's why, here's what for. Wow, when someone finishes that discourse, you say, no wonder the performance was extraordinary. No wonder the achievement was out of sight. Here was what for and here was the purpose. See, that's important. Talk that over with your children. What do you want and what for? What's it going to do for you? How's it going to make you feel? Then what's the next step beyond that? Once you've achieved that, now what? Okay. So purpose is stronger than object. Here's the next one now. On your goals, a lot of your goals need to be personal development, the person you wish to become. Positions of authority, position of influence, being able to influence not only your family but others, community influence, national influence. There's a whole debate now on who best influences the country and who could best influence the military and who could best influence the economy and who could best influence the other nations of the world and the leaders of the world. Who has the strongest and most powerful influence? Who could become a giant in terms of influence by language, by style, by background, by reputation? The person you wish to become. Not just the center of attention, but perhaps the center of activity. Someone who can give directions, someone who can give people the right tips on early steps to take to build a career, to build a business. A person of supreme confidence that what they share is good and valuable. It's great to be that kind of person. There's a unique story of Lydia Colon, who started with $1 from the Spanish-speaking community in Miami. And now she's a millionaire, does business in several countries, and she's rich. Beware of what you become in pursuit of what you want. It's incredible what you can become. And my mentor said, Mr. Rohn, now that you live in America, you've been to college 1 year, you've been working 6 years, so you have some experience, and you have a family and all the reasons to do it. Here's what he said. Why don't you set a goal to become a millionaire? Because we were talking economics. He said, set a goal to become a millionaire. So I thought it had to do only with economics. But here was the completion, and if you can get this, this is worth the price of the weekend. He didn't say set a goal to become a millionaire for the $1 million. He said the $1 million is automatic, but set the goal to become a millionaire for what it will make of you to achieve it, for the person you would have to become. Knowledgeable, understanding the marketplace, learning to improvise, overcoming difficulties, solving problems, bringing value to the marketplace, all the stuff you must learn and do and become to be a millionaire. He said, if you do it right, that's what's important, to become a millionaire. He said, then once you get the $1 million, you could just give it away, because what's really valuable is not what you got, but what you became. I never forgot that. Reasons why. If I really worked hard, if I learned the skills and took on the disciplines, and if I could become a millionaire, wouldn't that be extraordinary? That the money wouldn't really be what's important. What would be important is the person I became. Now, jot this down. That's the positive side. Now let me give you the negative side. Since that's what life is since the beginning, positive and negative, the creator and the spoiler. Day and night, positive and negative, winning and losing, life and death, darkness and light, health and illness, liberty and tyranny. I mean, this is the human drama for the last 6,000 years. So here it is now, both sides of this ledger. One, see what you can become in pursuit of what you want. Set a goal to become a millionaire for what it will make of you. But now here's the other side. Beware of what you become in pursuit of what you want. Those are the two words of antiquity that are important. One is behold, the other is beware. We must do both. We must see the opportunities on one side, and we must see the dangers on the other side. We must try to minimize the dangers and maximize the opportunities. That's the game of life. And if you can become that kind of unique person that can sense the dangers, hopefully before, all of us after we've felt the pain and we've traveled the wrong road and we've accepted the wrong influence, sure enough, we find ourselves in a wreck, maybe physically or with our health or with life or with a marriage or whatever. Then we can quickly make the repair and start on a new road. But how much better to have maybe this kind of advice? Behold the opportunity and beware. Okay, now here's part of the beware. Don't sell out for what you want. Don't violate your principles. Don't compromise good friendship. Don't throw away some values just for some objective that maybe has you driven too much. There's an old story that says Judas got the money, a sizable sum of money. You say, well, then that's a success story. No, it was not a success story. Say, well, yes, if you get the money, that is success. No, his name was Judas. Doesn't that ring a bell? Right? This is the story of Judas got the money. It was not a success story, even though it involved a small fortune. Why wasn't it a success story? Because he sold out. It was what Judas became to get the money. Finally, Judas has the money in his hot little hand, and he's unhappy. Somebody says, well, how could you be unhappy if you had a small fortune? Here's why he was unhappy. He wasn't unhappy with the money. He was unhappy with himself. He tried to take the money back and said, here, I'm unhappy. Take this money back. I'm sorry I was the betrayer. They said, heck with you, Judas, and they threw him out with his money. He says, wow, what'll I do now? The only thing he could think of doing. He went out and hanged his worthless self for the betrayer he had become. And it certainly wasn't worth the money. So if Judas could speak back to us loud and clear today in this little seminar session, here's what he might say. Beware of what you become in pursuit of what you want. Just a little bit of caution here. Okay. I think enough on setting goals. This will give you some ideas to ponder and chew on, and a little model to follow to help people to do all of this stuff. It's going to be fun for you to work with this in the future.